I've been able to play Madden 23 for a bit now, so it's time for the official review, the 5 best things and the 5 worst things about Madden 23. This is how I like to do my reviews every year. I like to take the 5 things that I think are the best, the 5 things I think are the worst, to help you make a decision on whether or not the game is for you. I also have some copies of Madden 23 that I'll be giving away over on my social channels very soon, so make sure to go follow over there if you want a chance at a free copy. Let's start with the 5 best things. Number 1, gameplay improvements. Now this is something that you really can't put on a best list of Madden most years. We know that Madden's gameplay is one of the areas that struggles more years than not. And while I won't say that the gameplay is even near where I would like it to be or perfect, it's such a big improvement over the recent games, with the new passing system being introduced, which really opens up offenses even more, the new cutting mechanics that make running more realistic, and of course the work they've done to make defense a little bit better this year so that everything's not a track meet and you're putting up 50 points with ease. Zones play better, man plays better, and pass rush is much better. I'll never sit here and tell you that the gameplay is amazing or great, but for Madden, this is actually pretty good. Number 2, defense. We finally got defense back in Madden this year, and it's very much welcome. Now this kind of goes along with the gameplay improvements, but the defense itself has seen such a decent upgrade this year that I feel like it needs to be talked about on its own. And again, it's not perfect, it's not amazing, it's not without its faults, but it's much better than what we've been dealing with in previous games. Zones play much better this year. Are there still holes in zones? Well, of course, because zone defense has weaknesses, and if you can find the weaknesses, there's going to be open windows. But unlike last year, you can't just throw the same crossing route over and over on the sideline without proper route combinations to open up the crossing route. Otherwise, the outside cornerback will notice it and pick it off. Flat zones actually jump passes in the flats now, whereas in years past, it's been very hit or miss. The pass rush is super turned up, so you don't have time to just throw deep passes every single play. If you want to live like that, you're going to get sacked and hit a lot. And containment is finally better as well. You can't just roll out blindly every single play with your quarterback. Now we're going to finish with the rest of this video, but really quickly, let's hear a word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh offers so many delicious recipes to choose from, and they have more 5-star reviews than any other meal kit, so you know you'll get something that tastes great. And I love their Hello Custom option, which allows you to customize your box by swapping out one protein or side for another. HelloFresh also provides foolproof, step-by-step recipes for a joyful cooking experience and a stress-free summer. Plus, HelloFresh cuts back on time spent in the kitchen with meals ready in around 30 minutes or less. And that's really big for me because I don't usually have a bunch of time to cook. Nor do I really know what I'm even doing half the time. But HelloFresh makes it super simple for even somebody like me. HelloFresh also helps you eat more sustainably. Their pre-portioned ingredients means there's less prep for you and less wasted food, which is great. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POG ERIC AUG16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes plus 3 surprise gifts. And then you can be just like me, enjoying this delicious meal right here. Number 3, franchise mode. Look, over the last 2 years, EA has finally made an effort to make franchise mode better. And while it's still missing a few key things from back in its glory days, the last 2 years has seen the mode grow quite a bit from where it was in the previous 5 years, where it was basically nothing. This year, EA built on some of the stuff they added last year, like the scouting system, adding more scouts, allowing you to scout more players, giving you more information about players earlier on, and fixing some of the bugs that kind of held it back last year. They've also overhauled the entire free agency period, which I think is such a huge upgrade that is kind of going overlooked by some people. It's a lot harder to build your team now, which it should be. You can't just easily get any player you want, and players have different motivations that factor into whether or not they want to play for your team. Some players just won't be obtainable unless your team can meet the criteria. Other players might be able to be convinced if you pay them enough, and then you have some players that are going to be very interested, and maybe you can get those guys a little cheaper. Giving some of these players a life of their own, I think, is a big deal for the mode. And on top of that, they've added player tags as well to help with team building. They've updated the draft class generators to give you more unique prospects now and give you a bigger chance to land generational prospects, which I think is another thing that's going overlooked. Number 4, the Madden Legacy game. I think this is something really cool they did to the game this year. They put a legacy game in where you can play with some of the greatest players of all time. So now you can play with some of the legend players where previously you could only play with them in Ultimate Team. Coach John Madden is on the sideline for both teams. The commentary kind of walks you through John Madden's career and touches on some of the highlights from his career. And John Madden's commentary is also a part of this legacy game where he pops in and out to talk about things as well. And then there's a cool halftime tribute as part of it. I just think it's actually something really cool and something unique that EA has done, and they don't always do unique things, so this is definitely something fun that I think any fan of Madden would enjoy to play. Number 5, the MUT Field Pass. Honestly, one of the best changes they've made to Ultimate Team in a long time. The Field Pass gives you more of an incentive to play. It makes you want to grind the mode, and it gives you tons and tons of great rewards for free. It's something that's perfect for the guy that wants to play MUT but doesn't want to spend money. Now it's time for the 5 worst things. Number 1, face of the franchise. This makes the list every year because it's just simply not that good of a mode. It's a good idea. There's parts of it that can be good at times, but as an entire offering, it is just always fallen short, and this year's no different. And the story is boring. They've taken a lot of the stuff away that actually was interesting about the mode, like the ability to play in high school or play in college. Number 2, the lack of updates for other game modes. Now, Franchise and MUT, I think, got some decent changes this year. Face of the Franchise did get a change. It's just not the greatest. But when you look at some of the other modes like the Yard and Superstar KO, which are honestly really fun modes with so much potential, it's just kind of frustrating to see them not do much with them. It's 2 modes in the game where they can truly get as unique as they want. Nothing's really holding them back in those modes. They can do some crazy things, but they're just not doing it. Number 3, the lack of customization. This is always something that has been a problem with Madden over the last decade, and it continues into Madden 23. There's still no creative team. The creative player is still extremely limited. The options to put on your player are still pretty limited when you consider it's 2022. You also can't create stadiums. You can't create your own uniforms in Ultimate Team, and the list just goes on. Number 4, the offensive line. Now, I've been talking about this since the beta version of the game in June. I said, you know what, the gameplay has improved in a lot of areas this year, but the one area that it might have gotten worse, if that even is possible, is the offensive line. Now, don't confuse this with the pass rush being better this year. It is better, and that is a good thing, but the O-line itself is also worse, it seems like. They seem worse at recognizing blitzes. Sometimes against regular pass rush, they just let somebody walk in without touching them. It's just one of those areas that has needed a lot of work for a long time, and while some years it is better than others, this definitely seems like a year that it's gone backwards a little bit. Number 5, the same old stale commentary. Now, for me personally, this doesn't bother me because I don't usually listen to the commentary when I play anyway. I listen to music or something, but for most people that play, specifically offline players, franchise players, they want to be more immersed in the game, and the commentary is a big part of that. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis have been the commentary crew in the game for a very long time now, and it's just kind of gotten old. A lot of the same lines get repeated year after year, and if nothing else, it would just be nice to maybe have a revolving crew of announcers like some other games have. And I can't remember Madden ever going this long with the same commentary crew. So let's get that updated. Now, if you want more details about everything that was added to the game this year, make sure you check out this video right here on the screen.